What's up, sports fans? This is the Lucas Ross Sports Channel. We continue here with my 2024 predictions for the upcoming 2024 college football season. The West Virginia Mountaineers are up next. West Virginia coming off a very big surprising season last year, going 9-4 in 2023. So this team was not really that far behind from winning like 10 games last year and then also making it to the Big 12 championship. Of course, the Big 12 was definitely wide open last year. My thoughts on this West Virginia team for 2024, I think they're going to be once again pretty good. You look at the offensive side of the football, plenty of experience coming back there. They got their starting quarterback coming back from last year as well. So I think the offense has a chance to be pretty decent. And then you look at the defense, probably, some question marks there on the defensive side of the football. They did lose quite a bit there, but, maybe they added some pieces in the transfer portal that really does help them out. So let's go ahead and get to the schedule here for 2024. This is the schedule here for West Virginia. Again, they were 9-4 last year in 2023. So let's go game by game now and give you a record prediction here for the Mountaineers for 2024. They start things off with a big game at home against Penn State here on August 31st. I already done my Penn State prediction video, and I did choose, of course, Penn State to win this game just because they're the more talented team and everything. But I think West Virginia is going to be really fired up for this one. It's really one of the first games here of the regular season, so you don't really know what to expect here from both of these teams. This game actually was really a blowout last year, and, for the rest of that time being, we thought West Virginia was not going to be really that good. But, after that Penn State game from last year, West Virginia ended up having a really great year. This game, though, I think it will be a lot more closer than last year's game was, but it won't be enough, though. I think West Virginia does come up a little bit short here in this one. It's probably a low-scoring type game. Anything can happen here in this one. I think it's probably going to be a turnover that probably changes the difference, and maybe also, maybe like a, game-winning touchdown, maybe a game-winning field goal, so you never know what can happen. But I'm going to go with Penn State here just because they're the more talented team. So I think West Virginia starts out 0-1 on the season, but then they take care of business against UAlbany here on September 7th. So that puts their record now at 1-1. Then they play on the road here at Pittsburgh on September 14th. A rivalry game, obviously you never know what can happen here in this one. This game is on the road. Pittsburgh wasn't really that great last year. I think Pittsburgh will be a lot more better this year than they were, of course, last year. And this game, of course, is on the road. It's a very tough place to play. Both of these teams are pretty even. It's obviously a rivalry game. Anything can happen here in this, old rivalry and everything. So I've kind of been back and forth on this game. It's kind of like a 50-50 type game. And again, I know Pittsburgh wasn't really that great last year. West Virginia might be the more experienced team, but it's kind of hard to go against Pittsburgh when they're playing at home. And obviously, when it comes to a 50-50 game, you have to really go with the home field advantage in this one. So I'm going to go with Pittsburgh here just because they're playing at home. So that gives West Virginia their second loss here of the season, and that puts their record here at 1-2. And then they open up Big 12 play here the next week at home against Kansas here on September 21st. So West Virginia is off to a really slow start here at 1-2. Kansas, I've already done their prediction from last week, and I did choose the Jayhawks to, or actually not the Jayhawks. I chose the Mountaineers to pull off a win here. This definitely probably could be one of those upset alert type games. Kansas probably ranked in the top 25 by this point. West Virginia is not ranked, so I think West Virginia definitely will be fired up for this one. And I've already done my Kansas video, so I think I'm going to go with West Virginia here. And again, this is a really tough game to call as well. I think both of these teams are pretty even, so I think West Virginia does get their first Big 12 win of the season, and they also get their first win. And they actually rebound after a loss to Pittsburgh here on the road, and after a really slow start to the first 3 weeks of the season, I think West Virginia gets their second win here of the season. So that puts their record now at 2-2, and then after that they get a bye week here before playing Oklahoma State here on the road on October 5th. Tough place to play here. Both of these teams are really well experienced. Oklahoma State, though, has a lot of production coming back. I think Oklahoma State, again, might be the favorites to win the Big 12 this year. They got their starting quarterback coming back in Alan Bowman. They also got Ollie Gordon as well in the backfield. So I think West Virginia is going to have a really hard time stopping the running game of Oklahoma State. And plus, this game is on the road. I don't really know what to expect here from West Virginia, but I think it will be a very competitive game. It could be a shootout here because I think both offenses offensive teams are pretty good, but, the Cowboys definitely have an advantage on the defense. I just think Oklahoma State is the more talented team, so I'm going to go with the Cowboys here. I think they lose to Oklahoma State here on the road, on October 5th, and that puts their record now here at 2-3. Next game, they play at home against Iowa State here on October 12th. A really veteran team of Iowa State. This won't be an easy game here for West Virginia. You're probably going to say that West Virginia will roll in this game, but I'm telling you, the Cyclones are going to be really good this year. They have a lot of experience coming back. This game, though, the good news is it's at home for West Virginia. That's the reason why I've kind of been back and forth on this game. But, West Virginia playing at home definitely will get it done here in this one. I think Iowa State, though, is going to be very competitive in this game. And it also could be a game that probably goes into the fourth quarter as well. So I think West Virginia, though, they're playing at home in this one. They do bounce back after a loss to Oklahoma State from last week. So I think West Virginia does beat a veteran experienced team of Iowa State there on October 12th at home, and that puts their record here at 3-3. Next game is at home against Kansas State here on October 19th. So you got back-to-back home games here against Iowa State and Kansas State. I think Kansas State's going to have a pretty good defense this year. The offense is going to be really young for them, but I think this is one of those front runners in the Big 12 as well. This is a very tough one to call. I've been back and forth on this game, so I think it's a really even matchup. It probably is like a 50-50 game. And like I said with the Arizona video from yesterday, all these games are going to be really wide open, and a lot of these games are going to be really competitive, and a lot of these teams in the Big 12 are going to beat up on each other, and also anybody can win this conference as well. So I think West Virginia playing at home, it's a 50-50 game. It's a low-scoring type game perhaps, but I'm going to go with West Virginia here to knock off Kansas State here at home. So that's back-to-back wins there for the Mountaineers, and that puts their record now at 4-3. Next game is on the road here at Arizona on October 26th. I've already done my Arizona video just from yesterday, and I did choose the Wildcats here to win this one. Both of these teams are pretty even. They're really both experienced teams. Arizona might take a big step back on the defensive side of the football, and so does West Virginia. I think both of these teams, they probably score a lot of points in this one. It probably goes into the fourth quarter, but at the end of the day, home field advantage will favor the difference in this one. I'm going to go with Arizona, though, to pull off the win, and I think they give West Virginia here their fourth loss of the season, so that puts West Virginia's record now here at 4-4. And then they get their second bye week here before playing on the road here at Cincinnati on November 9th. Not really that high on Cincinnati this year. They weren't really that great last year. I don't really know what to expect for them in 2024. And I think West Virginia coming out of the bye week, they'll be definitely ready for this one heading into the month of November and anything. And I think West Virginia definitely is the more experienced team and definitely the more talented team as well. And again, I'm not really that high on the Bearcats this year, so I'm going to go with West Virginia here to knock off Cincinnati here on the road, and that puts their record here at 5-4. And then after that, they'll play at home against Baylor here on November 16th. Another team that I'm really having a hard time figuring out. I don't really know how good Baylor is going to be. They weren't really that great last year either, so I don't know what to expect here for the Bears this year. The offense might be really good for the Baylor Bears, but the defense might be not quite as good. But I think West Virginia playing at home, they're definitely the more talented team and definitely the more experienced team. They get this win here over Baylor. Maybe it's close in the first half. I think second half, maybe West Virginia pulls away. So I got West Virginia now improving to 6-4, and then after that it's a home game against UCF here on November 23rd. This is a very tough one. Obviously West Virginia is definitely the more talented team. UCF, though, is a very consistent team in the Big 12. They were very consistent last year. They might be really good again this year, but West Virginia, it's really hard to go against them when they're playing at home. So with that being said, I think West Virginia in a not a close game perhaps. I think West Virginia probably wins this one, maybe big. Maybe they pull away just like in the Baylor game. They pull away in the second half. But I'm going to go with the Mountaineers here just because they're playing at home. So I think West Virginia improves to 7-4 here on the season. And then the final game is on the road here at Texas Tech on November 30th. This is going to be a really tricky game, especially playing on the road here at Texas Tech. I think Texas Tech is going to be a pretty solid team, maybe not like a decent team as they were over the years, but this is one of the most consistent teams also in the Big 12 this year out of all the other teams in the Big 12 coming up this season as well. But, playing on the road, it's a very tough place to play at Texas Tech. I kind of been back and forth on this game, just like, for a lot of these Big 12 games and everything. So with that being said, this game probably goes like the Arizona game. This game probably is like a shootout here in this one, but I think it probably could be a low-scoring type game. But, playing out on the road here, Texas Tech, that does favor them here. They're playing at home in this one, so I think Texas Tech probably pulls off a upset here at the end of the season. So I'm going to go with the Red Raiders there just because it's on the road, and it's a tough game to call here for me. It's a 50-50 game as well. So I got West Virginia losing their final game here of the regular season, and that would be their 5th loss of the season as well. So I got the Mountaineers finishing with a record of 7-5 here for 2024. Definitely not a big step back from where they were the year before, just a little bit under that record from last year, going 8-4 and everything. I think this is going to be a really good West Virginia team. They definitely could be like a dark horse contender in the Big 12. I don't really want to say they're like a playoff contender just yet because this West Virginia team just had a great year last year. Was last year just a fluke, or will this year, be the same story? Will they have like a really good year, or will it be a bad year? You never know. West Virginia, though, I think is going to be really good this year. This is a veteran team, so I do expect them to do really well this year. But again, 7-5 is my prediction here for 2024 for the West Virginia Mountaineers. So let me guys know what you think about this West Virginia team down in the comments below. What do you think their record will be for 2024? Thanks for watching this video, and stay tuned here for more sports content videos on my Lucas Ross Sports channel.